graphic novels blew up in the book trade in 2021. They went up massively, like double-digit percentages for the entire market. It's absurd. But when you break it down, it's a lot of like, what did well? Kids' graphic novels and manga. Outside of that,
Come on and visit for any occasion. Don't keep patting down waiting. Comics and conversation. Keep the conversation moving along. Keep reading comics, keep your local store strong. If it's hard, then it's a job for the challengers. Comics and conversation, y'all.
From Challengers Comics and Conversation in Chicago, this is Contest of Challengers, a comics industry business podcast with Patrick Brower and W. Dal Bush.
Well, Dal, against my better judgment, I'm here. Sorry.
it's okay.
It's gonna happen. Do you want to make car noises just so people get a feel for, like, last week?
Oh, I never listened to last week. Did it sound a lot like
you were
we
in the
a
car.
I know, but did it sound like we were in a car?
Of course it sounds like in a car.
No.
They always sound like we're in a car. Even when we're not in a car. So just go vroom.
Nope.
I need you to stall while I'm getting stuff ready. Ah, that's terrible.
It is terrible.
You have all week to work on your one little bit.
Mm-hmm. Car noises.
I'm just going to come out and say it.
Say it.
I hate everything about working.
I knew we'd get there eventually.
I hate every part of this job.
That's sad.
Except for reading most comics and then talking about the good comics.
Did you read anything this week, by the way?
Don't derail me.
Okay. I was hoping to have some positive.
I literally have no idea what I've read.
Okay.
Comics. I read the last issue of Black Widow. It was great, and it's the last issue, and I didn't know that going into it, and that sucks.
Oh, yeah, it's disappointing. There was something else that kind of
Black Widow was Marvel's
Spider-Woman
best
also
superhero book.
just ended this week.
Yeah, fine.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's weird when that stuff kind of sneaks up on you. I guess both of those series were probably not doing well enough to necessitate a big promotional final issue celebration of any sort.
I guarantee you She-Hulk is right behind them.
I'd say a lot of Marvel comics are. And,
yeah.
And
I like She-Hulk. I like how the covers are just, a figure or two. Fine. I like that it's just like a drama.
Spider-Woman was an interesting choice to get a solo series because I don't know that there was anything out there that was, like, motivating it. It wasn't like Spider-Woman's a character that had shown up in a bunch of books and people needed to see more of her. Or it's not like she has, like, a media project coming out that I'm aware of. They just did a Spider-Woman book, and then, like, 18 issues later, they were like, nah, we're done. Black Widow at least has a reason to exist, beyond the creative team, which is there was a movie coming out, and, now we're out of the halo effect of that movie, so if the series isn't doing super great, which, Eisner Awards aside, apparently it wasn't doing that great.
So good, though.
I don't know if it was doing that great. I'm just assuming.
I'm assuming it did not. I mean, they canceled it.
The sales made them end it, but they've had instances in the past where, like, I think the Vision was doing well, but when Tom King's like, I'm done, Marvel just went, yeah, all right, we're just going to end it. They didn't feel like they needed to look for another creative team, and maybe it was the same thing for Black Widow. Kelly Thompson's just like, I reached the end of my story, and they just went, all right, we're just not going to publish it for probably not too long. I'd assume a new series.
Did you read her goodbye at the end of it?
No.
That is not the case.
No? Okay. What was the case?
She can't talk about it.
Okay. That's weird.
There is more story to tell, hopefully with this creative team, hopefully somewhere.
Weird.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Behind the scenes stuff. She can't talk about it.
Well, it's a good thing we subscribed to her Substack.
She couldn't announce it, and then when it happens, she still can't talk about it.
That's super weird.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if the Substack's going to give us the answers we want.
No, it definitely won't. Well, I mean...
Not if she wants to keep working at Marvel.
Yeah, maybe in a James Tynion way down the line,
Maybe. I hope Black Cloak really takes off then. For a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I mean, she's still got Captain Marvel, which she's doing some amazing work on that book, constantly trying to reinvent it and constantly trying to give people a reason to check it out.
Yeah.
They're just not doing it.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you, I'm not reading any of her Marvel stuff currently.
Black Widow.
No, I wasn't reading Black Widow either.
Oh my god, it was the best superhero book on Marvel's book, best book.
I would check in occasionally because you and other people would keep saying that, and I'd pick up a random issue and go, I don't get it. But I like Black Cloak, her Substack comic with Meredith McLaren, which I'm sure will, like every other Substack book, find its way out to the market print-wise some way. But yeah, the Marvel stuff, yeah. Captain Marvel, I read a couple here and there, and it was usually when the art team would change in a way that I was into. Like, I read the original run, like the first storyline that Carmen Canero did the art for.
Yeah.
But then I think it changed up, and I'm not a Lee Garbett guy at all. But like David Lopez, I think ended up doing like a random, a weird like date issue. And that was a lot of fun.
Was she dating War Machine? Who was she dating?
No, she was just going on dates or something. Like, it's been a year or so I don't really remember the details because it was one random issue of Captain Marvel I read. But the premise was like Carol Danvers' dating life, basically. It was right before the body swap thing with Doctor Strange.
Okay.
It was like the issue. There was a one-off issue right before that. That I literally only read because I'm like, oh, David Lopez. Because David Lopez is great. And it was a great issue.
And also great on date issues.
It's true. Yeah.
Not his first foray into foray.
New Mutants is the one we're talking about.
Yep.
Dan Abnett, Andy Lanning. Or just Dan Abnett? I don't remember. New Mutants issue from
it
years
was
and years ago.
Dan Abnett, I want to say.
Okay.
Where Magma wanted a date with Mephisto.
But no, that's all out of the way. Patrick, I'm sorry to hear that you're having such a tough time at work.
I mean, don't you have tough times at work?
It's more work for sure. I don't know that I'm necessarily like, angrier or sadder or more put out by it. Like, I wish things were easier. I wish there were a lot of elements of this industry, from the macro stuff that we can't possibly control to the micro stuff with some of our platforms, that are causing us more work all the time. But I don't know, like, I like what I do still.
As someone who works with you, I can say that you're more angry. You have little bursts of angry, little bursts of, hey, Molly Jane and I will not talk to you for a while to let you get through your thing.
There's immediate things in the store, sure, but I don't take it home with me.
Yes, you do.
I don't.
You take your work home with you.
Yeah, but I don't take the anger home, really. I mean, there's frustrating stuff and I'll vent a little, but I wouldn't say that overall my perspective is that I hate my job. Like, not me. I'm sorry that it's that way for you, for sure.
It just makes me angrier.
I know. I'm sorry.
So many stupid little things, and now I feel like I can't even complain about them.
You can. Go ahead.
No, definitely not.
I'm sorry.
We'll move on.
Okay.
What do you have this week?
I read some preview comics. They were really good.
Yeah, let's not talk about that.
Okie doke.
We'll say that till later.
Okay.
Well, this is a comics industry business podcast.
That's true.
We'll do a few things at the end. It's now time to thank our Patreon supporters, including our annual patrons, Becca Hilburn and Joseph Coco, Brent Helt, Dal's mom Diane Bush, Jose Villagomez, Josh Crowley of Westfield Comics, Michael Romanenko, Mike Loveday, our patrons who have created their own tier, Andrew, Drew Troit Comics, Aaliyah, Christine McChrystal, Bridget K. Neville, Chris Burton, our other generous patrons from the Say My Name pledge level, Arun Singh, Ben-Hur Benedict Calaguas, Bradley Rader, Braden, Managed Comics Own, Brian Garside, Christopher Haith, President of the Brian Garside Fan Club, Django Boren, Drew Triner and Ashley Edwards, Challengers Reservist, Fallon Mackerline, my brother George Brower, Heidi D., Jacob Sorelli of Kamikaze, Jason Wood from 11 O'Clock Comics, Jay Johnson, Josh Trigg, Mark Hammond of Aw Yeah Comics, Margie, Keith, Logan, and Malcolm Springham, Marcuson Nasso, Matt Armstrong, our bestest wrestling watching pal, Michael Lee, Mitchell Davies of All-Star Comics in Melbourne, Australia, Morgan Kaiju Perry, Nick Baldwin, my longtime pal, Robert Burns, Ron Payne, Ryan Alcock, Ryan Hecht, Sean Bowers, Tad Eggleston and Johnny Williams, Thomas Nagovin of Century Guild, Walt Grogan. And if you want to hear your name thanked on this very podcast once a month, head over to patreon.com/challengers and pledge at the $5 Say My Name level. And a big thank you to all our other patrons at the various other pledge levels. So I don't know what we did to get on Google's radar, but now they won't leave us alone. I mean, it's constant emails.
Did they change our hours for Wednesday? Did you see that?
So, that keeps happening.
This is the second time.
That
The
keeps
second time
happening.
I've had to go in and say, no, we're open till 7 on Wednesday.
Who's doing,
No idea.
Jeannie even asked, she's like, can customers go in and change things? I know.
They can't change them.
Frequently, they can offer suggestions or say things, but yeah, they keep changing our Wednesday hours till 5 o'clock.
Yeah. Also, there's a thing you can do on I don't know if it's on like a regular Google search for Challengers comics, but I will see a thing where it'll tell me like busy hours for days of the week to sort of let you know, like, oh, if you're planning on going to a store or a restaurant or whatever, these are times where they're busy or these are times when they're not busy. We are busy after 5 o'clock on Wednesdays, so I don't even know if they're automating it. They're clearly seeing people come to the store and check in. I don't get it. If this happens a third time, I will have to do my favorite thing in the world, which is try and open a support ticket with Google to say, why is this happening?
Did they ever answer your last support ticket about why is this happening with the reviews?
No. It was basically just, you have to flag them as inappropriate or whatever, and I did, and then I never heard back from them.
They've even from the store to the recording studio, we got another email. Hey, are you guys open Easter Sunday? Make sure you post your hours. Mm-hmm. We did. They're their regular hours. There's nothing to change.
I guess they just need us to confirm it. I'll go in and do that.
It's just constant bombardment, and I think I talked about this a few years ago. I do not understand any of their analytics when it comes to the statistics they give us on a monthly basis.
Nope.
And I'm prepared with statistics.
Patrick has receipts.
And here's the dumbest part about this. Mm-hmm. I went to print this.
Yeah.
It printed 3 copies.
Where'd you print it, at home or at the store?
Here.
Oh, okay.
And then I went and checked, and I'm like, no, it just has 1. So I pull it back open, and the PDF is 3 pages, 3 identical pages of the same thing.
Bizarre.
Yeah. So I thought I was getting more information, but here this does not make sense. And honestly, you know what, man?
Is it not the right page?
I wanted all these things as well.
Oh, the other tabs?
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Stupid. So this is just for March of 2022.
Okay, last month.
Which was a decent month for us.
Yeah.
I mean, we did okay.
Sales-wise, you mean? Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, according to Google, we had 899 business profile interactions.
Okay.
That is up 23.2% from March of 2021.
Okay.
Now, it shows a little graph of which days had the most interaction. And what this is meaningless to me. But also,
I wonder if it's like,
I don't know what an interaction is.
if Wednesdays have more interactions than other days of the week. If that's the peaks maybe on the chart.
According to their records, 22,741 people viewed our business profile.
It seems like a lot.
Well, it's up 8% from last year. I don't understand what it means when
minus 8% still seems like a lot.
Someone views a profile versus a profile interaction.
Yeah, I mean, is it a thing where they were just searching for, like, did 22,741 people search for something that surfaced us as a result, even if they didn't, like, necessarily click on it? Like, if you just searched for, like, Dodge Challengers or whatever, like, would we come up? If you were searching for comics in Chicago, would we come up? And if they bypassed us to click on, Chicago Comics or First Aid, like, does that still count as one of 22,741 people? I wonder.
Do you get these emails as well?
I don't know. I'd have to see what the heading for the emails. That doesn't look familiar to me, though.
Google something.
I mean, I'll sometimes get ones where they'll just have, like, a data point, and I don't click further than that, because I just go, oh, that's an interesting number of people.
This one was basically March profile statistics.
I could
Yeah,
look.
if you could look it up, because I would.
Sure.
I really wanted to talk about the other things that were on the pages that didn't print out, even though I got 3 copies of this one.
I'll try and dig around real quick.
So during the platform, not during, but the platform and device breakdown, it's 13,549 people, or 60%, found us on Google from mobile. 25% found us on Google Desktop. 13% found us via Google Maps on their phone. And 3% of the people, which is still 583 people, found us via Google Maps on their desktop.
Here we go. See full report.
Yeah.
Opening Chrome.
And then there were 14,869 searches triggered your business profile. Not interactions, but searches that triggered. So that what you were just saying before.
Yeah.
So
So search terms and stuff.
So the search terms people that triggered us would be Challenger, by far and away the most popular search, the one that is the wrong version of our name. It was 5,182 people. Challengers was 1,300 people. Comic book store, 663. Comic book store near me, 575. Challengers Comics, 373.
Hey, neat. That's our actual store name.
Yeah, so how is it that those, I guess these aren't percentages, these are just, I'm surprised that we didn't come up more in comic book store than for Challenger, because that is such a specific thing.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a, well, I was going to say we wouldn't come up if it was location-based, but I
Yeah.
mean, that's already filtered out.
Yeah, it's filtered in comic book store near me. Well, I really wanted to drill into the phone call part of it, because
Okay.
those numbers are
I got that here. Calls?
ridiculous.
This is this one?
That's made from, yeah, okay. 82 people called the store from our business profile.
That said, I mean, it definitely jumps pretty high on March 31st, when I think we actually had our phone working again. There's a whole bunch of days in there where we did not have a working phone number.
Yeah, but that should be 0 then, but there's still like they're still, oh no, people could still call it from the profile. It couldn't connect.
Yeah, calls made from your business profile. So it does count those. It just, yeah, they didn't get through. But yeah, from our business profile, it's usually not more than like 5 a day.
But I mean, 5 times 30.
Yeah. And that's just from this one, like...
Okay, you know what? That statistic is actually okay. In my head, it was like a couple thousand.
No bookings made from our business profile. That's sad.
Aw, so all those table servings and never...
Do you care about this statistic? Is that something you want to talk about?
Direction requests made from your business profile. I wish they would break down more as to what that is. Like, did it immediately go to Google Maps or something from there, or?
Yeah, I'd assume. Basically, it's just someone on a Google business listing who went, how do I get there? So it'll take them to Google Maps.
Okay, annoyingly, I'm okay with that number as well.
And then this was the final one, website clicks.
447 people clicked our website from our business profile. I don't know. We never look into the stats on our website. Like, we don't look to see how many people view our new this week section, which is even a little
Can if you want.
Harder to find now.
It's on our main menu bar. It just isn't something that we put front and center on the website.
Well, I mean, but it's not. It's under About Us or whatever.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
I
broke
moved
out
it.
events, which is good.
I moved it.
Was that?
I guess I think we originally had it as part of the menu bar, and I think I moved it inside About Us because it was formatting-wise, it was making things look weird.
Yeah, I understand that feeling. But I like that you pulled events out.
Yeah, I think that one is... And it's something that I want to start putting those into the carousel on the homepage, the little rotating images.
Yeah.
Just putting one in there where it's like, oh, we have a, Michael Lark signing or whatever. I don't know how useful that is.
Oh my God,
but
we have a Michael Lark starting?
something we should probably do.
I knew as those words were coming out of my mouth, they were coming out wrong, but I let it go. Can you remake a new releases.challengerscomics.com link? You said you knew how to do it with the website. On your website.
Yeah, it's tricky because we moved our hosting, so I'll have to investigate that.
Oh, I mean, we talked about it once since we moved the hosting.
Sure.
And you said you could.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember how now. Okay, yeah, it's... Yeah.
I can't fault you for not knowing it off the top of your head.
I forgot what it was.
I went in to make a new sign for Prince.
Yeah.
For Prints, not Prince.
Sure.
Although, to be fair, there is a Prince nod right over there in the corner of the studio.
Yes.
Right, your Cliff Chang back row? Yeah.
The Purple Rain print he did.
So I went in to do that, and it's been a few months since I did it, and it took me a while to remember how to format it, because everything it's a parallelogram, and it's backwards, and how you have to import it, and how you have to arrange the image.
Sure.
And at first I'm like, oh, right, you can't just cut and paste because we're doing a funky shape. And it literally took me like an extra day to remember how to format it. And that's partially only because I keep a stencil inside every page of, I take it, because it's a diagonal, I take a square and I have yellow lines saying, okay, it's got to be this way because it gets flipped that way.
Sure.
So now that I have it made, I don't remember the print format, if it's JPEG or PDF.
For which one again?
The signs over the
I don't remember either. PDF, probably PDF.
Also, I don't remember, or actually, I don't think I've ever known how to pull out just one, because it's in a project that has 19 different signs.
Like pages? Yeah. I could show you how.
Okay. But it's ready. It's ready to be made.
Okay, cool.
We could throw that in with the
thumb drive full of stuff.
Yeah.
They'll probably take in, I guess, Tuesday.
Yeah, right? I thought we were going to do it yesterday, but I forgot.
We would have needed...
No surprise. We literally didn't need...
Early.
Yeah.
Which,
Oh, man. At the end of the day, I'm stumbling over words now, too.
It's fine.
It's not, though. It's a portent of...
Everything's a portent.
Of a horrible, horrible things.
Uh-huh.
Forthcoming things. So we needed a new sign that said Prince, because we did a little rearranging of the store this week.
We did, yeah.
We have taken all the pop vinyls, thrown them away, put them in the trash, melted them down. We lost 2 employees from the toxicity of the flames.
They died how they lived, though. Melting pops.
Melting pops. So all the pop vinyls are now in sidekicks above the graphic novels on the walls.
Reachable by adults, but maybe not so much by children, but that's okay.
Yeah. We sold 0 pops today.
Fantastic. Job well done.
We sold 0 toys today.
Oh,
0.
That's less good.
0 toys.
I mean, I guess it happens. Did you get any toys in?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Bunch of toys.
Okay.
4 McFarlane figures, 4 new pops.
Which McFarlane figures? Do you remember?
Oh, you really don't want to know.
Okay.
I'll tell you, though.
Sure.
Batman.
From what?
Batman.
The movie Batman?
Batman.
Okay.
Superman.
Okay.
Solar Superman.
What is that?
What would you think when it's called Solar Superman?
I would think the gold Superman from the
entirely black
Superman.
suit.
What now?
Entirely black suit.
What? From what?
Apparently Lois and Clark.
The Superman and Lois show, the CW show.
I'm just telling you what it says.
Or the Dean Cain show from back in the day.
I'm just telling you what it says on the thing. I cannot tell you where it actually came from. Very weird. The Batmans were Rebirth.
Okay.
Future State, I Am Batman.
Okay.
Future State, Dark Detective.
Okay. Those last 2 are kind of neat.
Yeah.
I'm glad we got them probably a year after anyone wanted them.
Oh, 2 years after we ordered them. Well, a year and a half after we ordered them. Hey, speaking of Superman, Jon Bogdnaove.
Yes.
You say yes because you know where I'm going? Or?
No, yes, I'm aware of his name and I like his work.
Jon Bogdnaove put up for sale the covers that have the first appearance of Doomsday.
Okay.
And Superman 75.
Wow. I'm surprised he's been sitting on those all these years.
Can you guess what they sold for? And this is
collectively or each one?
Collectively. And I will preface it with this. I personally think they should have sold for way more than what he got, knowing how ridiculous things are in the market nowadays.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember
especially
what that...
since this week they had some record high sales for Cap #1, Fantastic Four #1.
I'm trying to remember what that DKR page went for recently with the Batman Carrie Kelly kind of jumping over the city page.
Yeah.
That was like, I think, $250,000. Maybe I'm remembering it earlier than what it recently sold for. I guess for the two of those together, I'd say $100,000.
$427.
That's great. God. Good
Yeah, I don't
for
know.
him.
I thought that
You thought like what, $1 million?
because it's a Death of Superman cover.
I mean, it's really big
I don't know.
stuff. For
I would
sure.
expected like $600 to $750.
Wow. Okay.
But I mean, knowing for what that Spider-Man, the Mike Zeck sold for. I
don't
forget
remember.
we talked about it on the podcast.
Sure.
Listen to the episodes, Dal.
I never
You
will.
have the memory for these things. I don't. You have memory for life events.
I don't.
But for
I don't.
these things.
Nonsense, minutia, trivia. Yeah, good for Jon Bogdnaove. I hope that the guys and the people who save their art in their older age and in their retirement years can flip that for money that will take care of them for the rest of their lives. As disappointed as I was to hear that June Brigman wasn't looking to sell Power Pack pages because she wants to save them for when the movie eventually comes out, because it's Power Pack and they will eventually make some sort of Disney thing for it. Good for her. Good for her to have something to, fall back on when she stops drawing Maryworth.
The worst part about the no for that attempt to buy you a page for a present was that it wasn't even a home run of a present, because you're not really an original art guy. Like, you'd appreciate it, but you wouldn't be like, oh my God.
Also, I mean, Bogdnaove is more my guy for Power Pack. Like, I geeked out over the Power Pack #1 cover.
I tried for that as well.
That MSI exhibit for Marvel, because it does have significance. It's the first cover appearance of Power Pack. That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, for me, the sweet spot artistically for the Power Kids is the Jon Bogdnaove era.
But even if I was able to get a hold of a sketch from him, which I tried to do and could not do,
Oh, thanks.
that also wouldn't have been... Like, you would rather have a page than a sketch, and you don't even really want a page.
I'd be happy with anything.
Yeah, but you wouldn't, like I said, it'd be a fine gift. It wouldn't be a home run.
Okay. I think it's okay to have doubles and triples, though.
Sure,
okay.
but I mean, I struck out.
Sure. Thank you for concluding the metaphor.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Hit by pitch.
Not even a balk. Jesus. Not even a pencil shavings from under Jon Bogdnaove's desk for when he once drew Power Pack. So the pop vinyls are all in Sidekicks, and they look good there. And we'll be messing around with the order and everything later.
Yeah, I was arranging them, and the main thing was just trying to make sure that like pops were with like pops, because we tried to keep them that way on the wall where they were before, but they were kind of getting out of order. People would move stuff on top of stuff.
And then stuff would come in, and we're like, we can't rearrange everything to put these four over plates.
Yeah, so we'd have to sort of like, these three go here, and then this one will go just underneath it. And then we also had overflow ones that were on top of the bookshelves. So as things were moving into Sidekicks, we had to, combine all those. Here's the G.I. Joe pops that were over on the wall, and now we got to add in the extra G.I. Joe pops that were on the bookshelf. But I think we nailed it as far as where things go. Like, there's kind of a Marvel section and then an everybody else section, and then the ones that are lower down and a little bit more accessible are the more popular ones, and the older ones or the less popular ones are kind of up a level. I think it works.
Keep talking.
The only kind of downside of it is that with at least on Wednesday, where the lighting is kind of right on top of where the pops are. So it diffuses that light a lot more than we would like. It's fixable, but it's just not... It makes the room a little darker. Not dark, just a little darker.
And I mentioned it to Gina today, and I don't think that it didn't really bother her. She didn't notice as much. I said it right away, and you're like, nah, it's fine.
I mean, it helps that, every day but Wednesday, we're closing before the sun goes down.
Sure.
So it's not like we're open late enough where it's like, man, you're really going to notice the lack of light in this room. You won't.
I need to get in early on a day so I could readjust the spotlights and come down.
Yeah.
Because you can't do it during the day because they'll burn your flesh.
It's true. Is it worth looking into alternate lighting?
Nope.
Okay. I didn't know something else.
We want to do alternate lighting for the entire store.
No, I just meant for the track lighting that we've got. If there's like a different fixture that can jut out a little bit more or go up a little higher, I don't know.
This is the point where we're like, what if we had taken all of the lights from blue?
I don't know that the voltage would work in our favor. I think by plugging a lot of those in, we'd risk some sort of burnout or something.
Well, I mean, you adjust, you move around. We plugged a ton into blue and it worked fine.
We did. Well, we never found out long term if it would work fine.
True.
It worked good for 3 months.
So pop vinyls are weird because some people just absolutely love them and some people hate them.
That's true. I'd say more people love them than hate them these days.
True. And I hate that I like them. I especially hate the Marvel ones because they're bobbleheads and I hate it so much.
But you don't take them out of the box.
I know, I don't. Because they're bobbleheads and they'd be stupid and moving. And
you don't really take any of them out of the box. You got like a dozen there that are maybe open.
I have 10.
10, sorry.
I just counted.
Okay, I did not count.
When I asked you to keep talking, I was counting all the pops that are visible in the studio. And
did you count mine as well?
No, I just counted mine.
Just yours? Okay.
Yeah, yours. You ready for this? 5. I did it.
4 Gwenpools and a Laura Kinney Wolverine. That's it.
Where'd you get that Laura Kinney Wolverine?
I think it was a gift.
Was it like a single? Double?
Oh, that's like a triple to a home run. I love that.
I got you that.
Like I love the Laura Kinney Wolverine character.
Right.
Like X-23, hot and cold on. I didn't really care much for her before the all new Wolverine series, and I like it.
Tom Taylor.
I like that version afterwards. I like the Mariko Tamaki version quite a bit. But like Laura Kinney as Wolverine is really what I want to see that character as. So a Laura Kinney Wolverine pop, yes. Like I think I saw an X-23 pop or something at Kokomo. No, I'm okay.
There was
I got the Wolverine
the Hex
one. I'm good.
What was it?
Weapon Hex.
Weapon Hex.
Thought about it, didn't go for it.
It's only $8. I thought about it too, but I put it back because it's not,
Yeah, I don't. My rule for a long time was I only get pops as gifts. I don't buy them for myself. That's a good way to make sure I don't buy pops.
Because left your own devices, you buy double.
Yeah, I mean the only ones I've really bought are like the Gwenpool ones from Kokomo Toys. I think that's all I've ever bought for pops for myself.
Crap, my number just went up. I forgot about that guy.
Oh yeah.
So
technically that's 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, I only counted New Day as 1.
That's true. Okay. And the box.
My number is 73 boxed pops. And I frequently go through and we're like, nope, you got to get rid of a bunch. And just get rid of some.
I think that's why we have a Louis Capaldi at the store.
No, I ordered Louis Capaldi because I think it'd be fun to have him at the store.
Okay.
And so when someone buys it, I'll be like, oh, you got Louis Capaldi. And eventually, if no one does, I will. You never will.
You've got some ones that I kind of, in retrospect, I'm like, God, I should have gotten those. But it's like, I don't want to open that door. Like, Jane Foster Thor pop is great, but I don't want a bunch of pops. I never even bought a Goose pop, Like, no.
I had a Prince Robot pop, but I got rid of it. Now I'm like, I should have it. I have way too many cat pops, but I say way too many. Mm-hmm. I have a bunch, but there are so many more I don't have.
But you collect cat pops.
Yeah. That's why I have the stupid
I gotta look
robot one.
I gotta look at this section because I think I saw one today, weirdly in like a Google ad.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I don't think Patrick has that one, so I'll probably have to get it for you for your birthday.
Yeah, it's like there was.
I don't see it up here, but I really will have to like when there's more light in the room and I have a little bit more time. I'm probably going to like really stare at this and go like, what doesn't he have?
Thanks to club member Mike Loveday, I didn't know that they did a Nomad.
Yeah.
Steve Rogers Nomad.
Yeah, there he is.
And I bought it. And it's disappointing because it's black and yellow, but the suit is blue.
Sure.
But anyway, it's fun to have. Pops are a weird gift because it'll be like, oh my God, I don't have this one. Then I put it on a shelf.
Right. You don't really interact with it in a serious way. Like, it's just a decoration, which is fine. I don't, that's kind of the point of them, is to be a not too expensive decoration. They look good together, and you know, as I'm sure Funko is more than aware, the more of them you have, the cooler they all look together.
Some of the...
You know, one random box pop on, like, a shelf or something is like, are you going to open that? Or why is it just sitting there? But you put, like, 12 on a shelf, and it's like, wow, that's such a cool collection.
Well, I did open them in the beginning. That's those 10 down there.
And then you hated that they were bobbleheads.
Yeah. Except Monster Cereals weren't. And then those Batgirls I just got because we had them at the store for a while. I'm like, I'll start a Batgirl collection.
There it is.
Started
and finished.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a... I got the TV one, and then the Burnside one, and then the animated series one.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if they did a new Batman Adventures Batgirl costume. Like
probably.
the black costume.
Black one, yeah, probably.
It's a good design.
But, the dumbest ones I have are the ones that are based on real people. Like
the New Girl ones?
Yeah, like the New Girl ones and like the Community ones. New Girl, I had to track down Cece.
Yeah, NYCC.
Yeah. And then I'm disappointed in Community because there's no Chevy Chase figure. But I also...
You were probably the only one who's disappointed
I also
in that.
did not get the Ben Chang figure.
Oh, yeah?
Because it was specifically the paintball Ben Chang.
I was going to ask, which one did they do?
Yeah, and also... Pardon me. He wasn't part of the study group at first.
No.
So he wasn't part of it. So it's
like
weird
if
to
they did a John Oliver one, you know?
Yeah, I would totally get that.
You would, wouldn't you?
I would rather Last Week Tonight, John Oliver.
How have they not done that?
I don't know.
That's
I
weird.
honestly don't know.
That's weird.
And then I have a handful of wrestlers.
It's true. I wonder if... I mean, we can't be too far away from AEW Pops, right? I mean, we can't.
We shouldn't be.
They did the New Japan ones. The Bucks and Kenny and the American Nightmare Cody.
But also, I would prefer that they never do Pops.
Because you'd buy them all?
Probably.
Yeah, and they would also... I mean, if they did those, they would also do, like, convention variants and all sorts of, like, exclusives.
Oh, yeah.
And you would kill yourself tracking them all down.
I think I would have to draw the line and not do it, because I'm already getting...
You got the action figures.
Too many action figures.
Yeah.
Too many action figures. But this is not... we should not be talking about what Pops we have decorating the recording studio.
Okie doke.
We should talk about comic bookal things.
Sure.
I don't got anything.
I mean, I'm trying to think of anything that happened in comics news. Oh, there was Brian Hibbs over at the Beat.
The Bookscan reports are up.
Bookscan report.
I did not look at it.
The one data point that's really interesting is how terribly Marvel does in the book trade, according to the Bookscan reporting.
And our graphic novel sales?
Our graphic novel sales for Marvel aren't terrible, especially now that we can start getting more stuff back in stock. And certainly the media tie-ins do great for us. Your Moon Knight trades, your for a minute there, like Eternals trades, or Ms. Marvel's probably going to do well for us. The WandaVision stuff when it was available did well for us.
Okay, so let's back up and tell people what Bookscan is.
Bookscan is reporting that I don't have the thing in front of me. I think it's independent bookstores and book chains report.
Yeah, it's
their sales.
It's the best sales.
Data.
It's bookstore sales.
Right. So it's
but Bookscan is
people can go to the comicsbeat.com and read the whole thing and all of the very long disclaimer that Brian Hibbs does in the beginning to kind of, orient you as far as like how this data is obtained and what it specifically means, because there's a lot of stuff that and channels that don't report to Bookscan. So it's not like book sales altogether. It's stores that use specific systems report to Bookscan, but like Amazon doesn't. The Scholastic Book Fair doesn't. Stores that I guess don't use specific systems don't report to Bookscan. Comic shops don't report to Bookscan. So the sales data you're getting is from a very like specific band of sales data.
Did you have that when you were in school? Like the Scholastic Book Fairs?
Yeah. They were great.
I remember that what they would do for us, and keep in mind I'm a little older than you are.
Yeah.
Was they would just give us like a one sheet to take home and say, hey, you can order this book. From these 5 books.
I remember when they set up in the gymnasium and it was so great.
Because we never did that as a family, and I wonder how different, like how could I couldn't have been exposed to comics more,
Yeah, the thing that always was a little frustrating for me as a kid for the Bookscan for the Scholastic Book Fair stuff is that this predates comics being welcomed into schools,
Yeah.
into libraries. So what I could get there would be like Garfield collections or The Far Side or Calvin and Hobbes. Like comic strip stuff, fine. Comic books, they didn't have it. So the idea of a Scholastic Book Fair where it's just full of like graphic novels is, I mean, insane to me. Like that's such a great thing, and it's.
A mom and a kid were in
Huge.
today, and the kid was buying Dogman #1, and I'm like, "Have you read Dogman before?" He's like, "Yeah, I have #2." And the mom's like, "Yeah, he loves that book." I'm like, "Yeah, have you looked at it? I think Dogman is horrific." Like the speech I give to parents, just in a joking, fun way. She's like,
It's a dog head on a human body.
he loves it so much. I go, "Oh no, every child does."
Oh yeah.
He's like, and then I have 4, and I have 8. I'm like, "Yeah, that's great, man. You got a bunch."
Just doing even numbers.
But he's just
4 and 8.
so into Dogman, which it reminds me of this great note that a teacher wrote a kid who got in trouble for making copies of Dogman on the school's copy machine.
Okay.
And I can't do it justice now. It's so funny because basically it was, when you get in trouble, it's a standard form. They felt like, what did you do wrong? Why did you do it? What are you not going to do?
Right.
What have you learned? And everything that he wrote was just like, what have you learned? When to not get caught, or when to do this.
Sure.
How should you spend your time
Covering my
making more
tracks.
Dogman comics? I mean, it was just.
That's awesome.
And then, because he had turned it in, and the teacher wrote it back, and he just said, "No, see me. I don't want to tell you this again."
It will not surprise you to hear that Dogman is like the most gigantic thing in graphic novels in the book trade. It's just massive.
Yeah.
Like unbelievably, like it is.
Is there even a new one on the way?
I'm sure there is, because it's like printing money at this point. But a lot of the details, I mean, the overall thing was graphic novels blew up in the book trade in 2021. They went up massively, like double-digit percentages for the entire market. It's absurd. But when you break it down, it's a lot of like, what did well? Kids' graphic novels and manga. Outside of that, Marvel, I don't think was even in the top 15 for publishers.
Fine.
Which is insane. And Brian Hibbs spent some time pointing out to people on Comics Beat who probably don't need to be told this. Marvel is basically synonymous with comics to most of America. When you say comic books to most people, they assume you're talking about Marvel, because Marvel is superhero movies and like.
Yeah, I think Marvel's synonymous with movies and TV shows.
But that's the thing. Like, people think of that stuff as being drawn from comics, even if they're not aware of the comics themselves.
Drawn from comics?
Sure. But the reality of the situation is that no one's actually buying the graphic novels. And not even for, like, media tie-ins and stuff where this stuff is available. And if anything, it says to me, this is why Marvel Comics went to Penguin Random House.
Yeah.
You know, the comic distribution, sure, I'm sure there's plenty of benefit to that. But the graphic novel distribution, they need an advocate in the book trade. They need someone telling bookstores, stock these books.
Do you think Paul Heyman is available?
These are the books that are people are going to be looking for, and make a display of these Moon Knight trades, these Ms. Marvel trades. Like, they need that, because clearly no one was doing that before, so they would just pump out all of these, various tie-in graphic novels, most of which were unappealing or did not reflect on the project that they're supposed to be supporting, and so they wouldn't sell, and that would be it. And then stores would probably not order them the next time. Certainly it helps that Marvel is a little bit smarter about how they're doing their trade programs for their media tie-ins. The Moon Knight complete collections, to coincide with the Moon Knight TV show, are great. They're already...
Yeah, the weird thing about those, they had them out in time.
Yeah, and they've been available. Like, we reordered a bunch more the day episode 2 dropped. And in past shows, they would have already been sold out and stay sold out for the remainder of the series. So the fact that we've been able to restock multiple times during the promotional phase, which is huge, but then also while the show's on, less huge but still important, is great. I like that they're doing specific books for specific characters for the upcoming Thor movie. They're doing a saga Jane Foster and a saga Gore the God Butcher. So people who want to know more about those specific characters don't have to get sold like, here's a $35 book that has them in it a little bit,
What
but
do you
not
mean,
really.
saga?
That's what they're called.
What?
The complete collections. The Thor complete collections for those are called the saga of Jane Foster and the saga of
Oh,
Or the God
okay.
Butcher.
Okay. I thought that was some sort of... Because I know what the complete collections look like in my head, but I thought that was like a new version. Like, here's their saga series.
No, they're called that because they're taking specific chunks of story.
I got it. I didn't realize that was the name of those books.
Yes.
They can't use the word saga. That confuses people.
They can. Anyone can. You probably couldn't
I
call
want
it just
to
a
be
book saga.
the complete ultimate saga collection of the Ultimates.
Okay. Hopefully they'll do that.
But none of these reports really reflect comic books.
No. Well, you mean the comic book market?
Single issue comics.
Oh, no. Because they're not sold through bookstores.
Yeah. We're a bookstore.
We're a specialty bookstore that carries comic books.
And vinyl.
Final Toys, that's correct.
Pop vinyls. Speaking of pop vinyl. I mean, so were there other surprises in that list for you?
Not really. I mean, the big two...
I assume you did. You poured over it with a magnifying glass and
No, I skipped it.
an abacus and
I skimmed it because
graph paper.
a lot of the granular parts of it, I don't care like how Del Rey did this year in graphic novels. It's fine. They're like a middle of the pack top 15 publisher, and you know, what did they do well with? Manga. What did they do okay with? Non-manga. Like that's kind of every like the three big things were market exploded. Pretty much on the back of kids comics and manga. No one seems to care about Marvel comics in the book trade, which is insane.
You asked if you could take down our Dear Manga Fan signs that we had up in the manga section for when our shelves were so bare.
Yeah, when we had like one random volume of My Hero Academia, and we're tired of people asking us when we were getting more.
Just earlier this week, I'm like, yeah, fine. And then today, cut to today, of Gina being like, I hate this section! Because we had to file a bunch of new stuff. It's too full.
Now it's too full?
Yeah, so I think maybe...
more shelves?
Like next Wednesday's late afternoon task, new manga shelves.
Okay, sure.
Because, you know, we have time to do stuff like that late on Wednesdays.
It's true.
And that's like a good self-contained task.
It is, yeah. It's easy to do just in that section as opposed to the pops, which were a little tricky because it was like, oh, we have to remove these shelves all the way from the back of the store and then move them all the way into sidekicks.
And we're gonna swing back around and talk about that because we did move the pops into sidekicks, like we mentioned.
Yep.
But we then took the supplies, which were at the end of the graphic novels, and put them back where they used to be, where the pops were, because the pops took that section from supplies.
Yes.
Now we put the supplies back there.
Yep.
And it has room to, as things slowly become available again, we'll have more room for expanded supplies.
I mean, already we had been stocking up on certain, staples.
Yeah, but there's things we haven't had forever, like top loaders or other top loaders.
The acrylic card cases.
Yeah.
Somebody was just asking for card storage recently, and they were asking for the cardboard boxes, which we haven't stocked. But I'm like, no, we just stocked the acrylic ones, which we've been out of for 2 years. Never mind.
So we have the room to be, but we just because we can't get them.
Yeah,
but when they come back, they'll have a better space. And then we took all of the prints that were in Sidekicks,
where the pops are now,
and put them where the supplies were, where the pops used to also be.
At the end of the bookcases.
Yeah. Gina noticed right away. She's like, "Oh, everything moved." She's the only person who said anything. But to be fair, we did not have a lot of transactions today. Yeah. And we did not have a lot of regulars.
Yeah. Hopefully tomorrow or over the next few days. And honestly, if people don't notice, or like, I don't need them to say anything. I just need them to find stuff.
Yeah.
So if I'm not answering questions about where the supplies went or where the pops went, I'm okay.
Well, you just want to see people buying pops.
I did. I wanted to see if it would help. And I guess this weekend is really the test of that more than anything, because that's when we'll have a lot more people going into Sidekicks, is on Saturday and Sunday. So we'll see if that happens.
Just casting aside an email from Boom about the Alice Ever After variants. I moved it away.
Update. Maybe they'll finally explain the problem, because I never understood what they were trying to solve.
It's for people that had, I think, who ordered more variants than we did. We do have, thanks to our advance reorder of West of Sundown #1, because once we knew that we had the signing, which happened this Wednesday, thank you, Jim, thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Jim.
A lot of people came out. That book did really well for us.
Mm-hmm. I hope people enjoy it.
And once we knew that they were coming, it was after FOC that they said, hey, can we do a signing?
Mm-hmm.
So we did an advance reorder for West of Sundown #1.
Which we thought was in more than enough time to get it
Their
for the day of
covers.
release.
Yeah, so we did that immediately. Those came in today.
Uh-huh. That would be 2 days after the event and release.
But on the plus side, that book was already announced as having sold out from Vault on Wednesday.
And we have first prints. That's great.
Yes, and we have first prints. So that's a nice little bonus.
Yeah, we've also been doing some other orders recently for upcoming events to hopefully have some books for them.
Yeah, speaking of upcoming events, and you name dropped earlier.
I did.
This one is... It's weird because I think it's a huge name,
Yes.
but they don't necessarily have anything they're promoting.
Yeah, that's the weird part. It's not like on a book tour or anything like that. It's just happened to be in town, wanted to do a signing. Great.
It's Michael Lark.
It's Michael Lark.
Michael Lark, who has drawn incredible runs of Daredevil, who I own a Captain America page from the Ed Brubaker series.
Yeah.
Issue 2, it was a World War II scene.
Oh, great.
It's great. And I dug it out. I'm like, I can get this signed. Oh, no, he already signed it.
Get him to sign it again.
It was, I think it was signed in like 2004. That's what we're going back to with that book.
18-year later additional signing.
Yeah. He's currently doing Lazarus from Image, and DC just released
Is releasing.
Wait, didn't it come out this week or is it next week?
Next week.
Man, I get confused by this stuff. I can't
I want to say it's
understand.
next week.
Okay. Gotham Central Omnibus.
A new printing of it, yeah.
So it's great because we're like, hey, he's doing Lazarus with Greg Rucka. And he did Scene of the Crime with Ed Brubaker. And then he did Gotham Central with Rucka and Brubaker. And he did something else with Brubaker too. Now I can't remember. He's drawn a ton of stuff.
It's true.
And his stuff is great. I used to own a Gotham Central page from the Joker storyline, but I got rid of it when we needed money for a store.
Hey, that's when I got rid of my art too.
Yeah, yeah. Remember, we did it at the same art show. We had our own art show. Sold a lot of our own stuff.
Here's a bunch of art.
Anyway, Michael Lark is going to be in Chicago on Saturday, April 23rd. It's coming up real soon.
Yeah.
And it's very exciting because he's such a talented creator. He's going to have original art, but not pages.
Okay, that's cool.
Commissions, sketches, things like that.
That sounds great. I mean, that's honestly for someone like me who sometimes feels like I'm priced out of the original art market.
Yeah.
I will gladly pick up like a random sketch from somebody rather than, a fully finished art page that goes for, hundreds of dollars.
So I'm not going to get you anything.
Thank you.
But here are the questions that I would ask you. Would you prefer him to do a power pack or a Legionnaire?
Oh, interesting.
And which of each?
Oh, wow. Probably a Legionnaire. I think that would suit his style more.
I think he would do like a great Shadowlass.
That's interesting.
Just because of his noir sensibilities.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd probably go for
Invisible Kid.
Invisible Kid, there you go. Invisible Kid 2. Jacques.
It's actually Prody as Invisible Kid 2. It's a very meta piece.
Wow, that is. It's tricky. Yeah, I think maybe Polar Boy. I think Polar Boy would be fun to see him do.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think he's doing sketches.
Yeah,
but...
no, and that's honestly fine. I mean, it's just hypothetical. I hope people come out, though, and make Michael Lark feel welcome. Certainly the ability for us to continue to get big-name people is dependent on those big-name people not feeling like their time's being wasted. One
of the worst big-name people signings we ever had was Peter Bagg.
Yeah, true.
He was supposed to be there for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And after a little over an hour, he's just like, can I go?
Yeah. That, and I think Jeffrey Brown was another one where it was like, boof. Because it was supposed to be like a reading and stuff.
Yeah.
And he got there, and it was like you and I and like one other guy or something.
There were a few people.
There were. It was not what we felt like was a big enough event. And maybe it's the thing where if we reached out to Jeffrey Brown, he'd be fine to come back. But for us, like, that kind of haunts us. So we avoid, like, asking people who have had under-attended signings to come back because we feel very guilty about that.
Remember when we had Raina twice?
We did. Yep.
And the first time it was like we had like milk and cookies and orange juice for some strange reason. And we had like
It's good for you.
two families. That was it.
Yeah.
It was really embarrassing.
Yes.
And then she blew up and became the biggest superstar in comics.
Yeah.
And when she comes around, she goes to like auditoriums.
Yeah. She speaks in front of like hundreds of children.
Yeah. And then the second time, she and Dave Roman and Jersey Drods and John Green.
John
right?
Green, who does Investigators now.
They put on like an art clinic.
Yeah.
And we had like 5 groups of people show up. That's it.
It was not huge. In fairness, I think some of that like predates.
Yeah.
Sidekicks a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. But anyway, Michael Lark is going to be in time. He's going to be at Challengers. We'll have copies of, hopefully in time, the Gotham Central Omnibus, as well as volumes of Lazarus and some other stuff. He'll have art that he's selling. Feel free to bring your own stuff if you have collections, stuff in your collection that you want to get signed. Yeah, come out and make him feel welcome.
Make him feel welcome. That's the important part.
What time? Do you remember what time of day it is?
2 to 4.
2 to 4. Okay.
2 to 4 on Saturday the 23rd.
Perfect.
That's my parents' anniversary date.
Nice.
Well,
it's nice.
Is
It's nice.
Is it still the date?
Yes, it's nice.
That's not what I was asking.
I know, but yes, it's still the date, and it's nice.
And then we have Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah, 2 weeks after that, I think, right?
Where things are constantly changing. Currently, we have Michael Marici, who has two different Free Comic Day books. He'll be there from 1 to 5. We will start the day with Andrea Bell from 10 to
Artist of the Leak.
1. Yes, and we will have... And she specifically requested that we put all of our copies of The Leak and Science Comics do an experiment on her table for her to sell for us.
Okay, great. Yeah. I think we need to take a look at that list of people and make sure that we're stocking things
I thought you were going to say, take a leak.
No. Because I want to make sure that we can sell books.
I think we still have a bunch of leaks, to be honest.
We do, but I don't think we have enough doing experiments.
We two currently.
Yeah, we stock multiples of those, but
Yeah.
we don't stock like Free Comic Day multiples.
And
That's
then,
the thing that I think, if you don't have time tomorrow, I think Molly Jane and I should probably make up a quick list on Sunday and try and put an order together.
Well, I do have a signing tomorrow, but that'll be over by the time this goes out.
Okay.
And
if you've got a minute to maybe make up a quick list of like what we should have for like Marici, what we should have for Andrea Bell, and yeah.
And then Alex Rosato will be in from 11 to 2. And maybe more. Keep checking the schedule.
Yeah.
Immediately following that, the very next Wednesday, we'll have... this is a big get for us.
Oh, man. I'm so scared.
This person's next book is going to, as I understand right, has already sold 8 billion copies.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's as many copies for people on the planet.
Wow.
Everyone on the planet already has a copy. No one's going to buy any now, Patrick. We're screwed.
Well, they're coming to get them signed. Ryan Brown for 8 Billion Genies, number 1.
Ryan Brown, ? Is going to be at Challengers Comics Conversation.
And Challengers will have a shared exclusive, which we talked about before.
Yeah, we've seen it. It looks really great. It's a fun riff on the Curse Words Van Tour cover, which I think we still have copies of the Curse Words Van Tour hardcover.
We sure do.
If you never picked one up. I think it's signed and it's probably sketched in as well.
And then we will have, on June 15th, Daniel Warren Johnson.
Yeah, who I read his... he's doing the scripting for the Jurassic League comic that Wangettion's doing at DC, and I read the first issue tonight, and it's very fun.
Oh, cool.
I enjoyed it. But we've also read Do a Powerbomb. We've talked about that and how much we loved it and how excited we are for that series to get into people's hands.
You know what else is fun now?
What's that, Patrick?
Shaving your balls. Support for Contest of Challengers is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer: 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code CHALLENGERS at manscaped.com. we're happy to have Manscaped as a sponsor because we already used these products before they even approached us.
Yep. We use the products, we enjoy the products, and we were happy to let people know that Manscaped is something that they should have in their lives and that they can also get a pretty good savings on. Manscaped includes waterproof trimmers. It reduces foot odor. The Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer helps reduce nicks. It reduces the risk of ingrown hairs and reduces the risk of grooming accidents, which, pretty big thing. Reducing grooming accidents, I'd maybe put at the top of that list.
Yeah, right? Let's have
I
that.
would not save that for last. That's kind of a key component
Yep.
of the whole Manscaped deal. And speaking of Manscaped deal, 20% off if you use the discount code CHALLENGERS with an S at manscaped.com.
You know, if there's one thing we love more than manscaping, it's comic scholarships. One of our patrons is hosting a comics art scholarship. Anyone registered for college this upcoming semester can submit. If you know an artist who has eagerly told you about their story and they have an online portfolio, send them to nattosoup.com/scholarship. That's NATTOSOUP.com, so they can apply. Or if you'd be willing to put some flyers up promoting the scholarship in your store, if you're a fellow retailer, you can download assets from the press kit at nattosoup.com/scholarship kit. And this was a request we had from patrons.
Nice.
I had said, because they're like, hey, can you mention? I'm like, do you just want to write out what I should say? Mm-hmm. So the first part they wrote as a joke, and I read it on purpose.
I could tell.
Yeah, it even says, no, not really. Nope, just kept going with it.
the no, not really part.
Just kept going with it. Well, the no, not really was for me.
Right, but you also, yep.
But I explained it.
Yep.
I think that's great. It's a good opportunity for people, and I think that, again, it's nattosoup.com, nattosoup.com/scholarship for anyone to apply. And we need to print out some of the press kit stuff as well for us to put up.
I'm going to FedEx.
So now you talked about previews? Previews you read?
Yeah, like I said, Jurassic League, I read that. That was a fun first issue. I read Grimm, which is a new Boom series.
Yeah, Stephanie Phillips.
Yeah.
And
I don't remember the artist's name.
I don't either.
The art was real good looking. I like the first issue. It's a kind of a weird, like, slightly comedic Grim Reaper story. But, I mean, generally like a straightforward Grim Reaper. It's a woman who's a Grim Reaper, and she's one of many Grim Reapers, and she's shepherding a soul to the afterlife, and something happens, and it causes problems for her. So I liked the first issue. I thought it was fun. It was a good balance between scripting and art, which I don't usually find in Boom first issues, where it's like, boy, you're just giving me so much information and I don't need it, and I'm not engaged with your story yet. This is like, it really lets the artist do a bunch of stuff.
Nice.
And it paces itself well. And then I finally read the Passageway, the first graphic novel for the Bone Orchard Mythos.
Yeah.
From the Gideon Falls team of Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino.
Now, that way you had to wait for a while because you needed to wait until it was a very cloudy night.
The witching hour I needed to wait.
Well, I was going to get to midnight, but you need to make sure that there was just a little bit of moonlight streaming through. You read it by moonlight only?
I did. Like, I didn't start reading it until I heard a wolf howl in the distance. And then I went, yep.
Nice.
Time to start reading this.
Nice. Shit yourself while you read it?
I did not. I
Shit someone else?
I don't want to spoil it for people.
Nope.
I read the first issue. I read the graphic novel. It's 98 pages, like $17. The execution on it is great. If you like Gideon Falls, it's definitely that level of expertise. These are two creators who know how to craft a really spooky horror story. I kind of didn't understand the ending, sort of. So
okay.
I will need people to not only buy this, but
so you're saying it's exactly a normal Jeff Lemire, Andrea Sorrentino book.
But I need them to read it, and then I need them to come back to Challengers a week later to explain what happened in the final 15 pages of the book.
So it's a black barn that appears at a specific point.
Start over.
But at multiple.
What is a barn?
Multiple realities simultaneously.
I'm a city boy. I don't know from barns. What is Bucky?
It's Bucky Barnes. Bucky Barnes.
Okay.
but wearing his all black costume.
Oh, God, that makes so much more sense now. I like the Passageway, though. It's atmospheric and spooky, and it's the idea that it's a self-contained graphic novel that's also part of a larger universe they're going to build is really kind of intriguing as a storytelling experiment. But I think for $17, I think you get your money's worth for sure. If you liked Gideon Falls, I think you will definitely like Passageway. That's what I read. I tried to read a couple Marvel previews, but I couldn't get the links to load. Like, I think it was like Cap Symbol of Truth or something.
Oh, man.
Clicked on it, never loaded.
Wait, I have to remember the book. Okay, so Mitchell Davies asked if we had read the preview for Avengers Forever #5. No. And I said we did not. And he said he's very interested in our thoughts, specifically yours, because of how you talked about the all torture Ghost Rider issue. I'll say no more. So yeah, that to look forward to.
I just find that kind of misery porn to be like, I get the point of it. Like, I don't know that you need 20 pages of it to be like, no, he's really suffering. No, I got it. Especially when you're charging $4 or whatever. Come on, man.
The weirdest part about that is all of Ghost Rider's suffering happens without him even trying to run a comic store. Thanks for listening.
And keep reading comics.
This has been Contest of Challengers. Thanks for listening. Keep reading comics. Challengers is located at 1845 Northwestern Avenue in the Bucktown neighborhood of Chicago. 773-278-0155. Keep up to date with new releases and events at challengerscomics.com. Like Challengers Comics on Facebook, follow @Challengers on Twitter, and help fund this podcast at patreon.com/challengers.